I mean, your journey has been one faced with a lot of struggle and a lot of challenges as well. How do you keep your faith and purpose, and how do you keep yourself focused on that North Star when the struggle is real?
How do I keep myself focused on that North Star? I think and this is a constant negotiation for me internally, because as is where your eye goes, your focus follows as well, right? How I keep to the North Star is knowing where my foundation is. There are times when you look at a matter in different paradigms, it's very easy. For example, I'll give you an example. Um, 6 years on tour. This is my 6th year on tour, and I've only just broken the rankings. It took me like 5 years to break the rankings. And at breaking the rankings, I debut at 1,300 in the world, 1,400 in the world. Right?
Yeah.
What the hell, right? And I've not. I run a deficit every year playing tour. Then a positive. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is after 5 years of starting from zero, from nothing, or probably negative, I make top 1% of the world that breaks onto rankings. And in so doing, in that process, I have been, and I say this most humbly and with great gratitude in my heart, I've been funded by the people.
Yeah.
100% of my funding was from the everyday Singaporean who took money out of his or her own pocket, and a few friends from overseas as well, to push me along on this journey. And the larger narrative to that is that they chose their athlete. They didn't have, presented to them on a silver platter. They said, "Screw that, man, Sarah. You are the one I choose to represent my flag on the world stage." And so, like, when you realize these deeper tilts, it makes the journey way, way, way more meaningful, and you also come away from that realization knowing that your journey is meant to serve way more than just a personal aspiration. The foundation of which is the aspiration, sure, but as you see these deeper things of how things actually work, how you're using the faith of many to bring to fruit their faith in many ways, that becomes not. It's not. I wouldn't say it's the foundation, but that becomes the blinders that help keep your eye on the vision. The foundation was having wanted to do it myself already to begin with, and I keep coming back to it because there is no shame in wanting to in a paraphrase sort of way love on other people, to love on others, and to care for them so much that you are willing to go out there and be the first to receive the bruises and the hurts and the trials and the travails of the journey, so that you can show them how else it can be done.
Yeah.
And in so doing, pave hope, pave light, pave way. So that's a very long-winded and probably complicated way of answering your question, how I've kept to the true north when things have been really, really rough. Bear in mind as well, Nick, like, it doesn't save you from the extremities of emotion.
For sure, yeah.
Wow, they can be so intense, man, like so intense, especially like in this stage of life where I'm in now. Like I'm 35. I think I'm still very young. I have a lot of years left in me to keep playing tennis and playing at a good level. But it's also like knowing what your opportunity cost is in the pursuit of this, and still continuing to do it and be humble to the calling until the other priorities that you have in life will just have to wait. So yeah.
That's great. I mean, it's one. It sounds to me like you really had a very good, good. I mean, I don't know whether it's good, but
Yeah, tell me about it.
a decent enough grassroots support, whether it's through family, friends, or maybe even perfect strangers, and then later on in your support, sponsors, etc. But it sounds to me that and correct me if I'm wrong, I suppose the motivation when you couldn't find it within yourself was supplemented by the people who provided you that support. So I'm guessing your family, friends, etc.
Actually, it's funny you say that, because in the moments of great um, of great despair, the biggest thing that you feel, and I feel this sometimes when I the biggest thing that that made difference for me last year when I made ranking was the fact that I had a coach with me on tour, and that was in my 5th year. But my first 4 years, I did tour alone, and I was still learning the game. I was still, trying to figure things out. And doing tour alone as a woman traveling the world to places as far-flung as South Africa or India, where rape culture is very strong, uh, uh, is very stressful, because before you even hit the courts, you're tired already. You're exhausted from fighting everything else that's happening. Um, but where were we? Where was I? Sorry, what were we talking about?
So I suppose my question was that basically you had a lot of support from your grassroots.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So in I'm sorry about that. I lost my train.
That's okay. Yeah.
But in the process of that tour, the biggest sense that you struggle with actually is loneliness. And it's a very gripping feeling. It's debilitating as well. It's particularly bad when you come off court and you've lost your match, or if you lost your match 6-0, 6-0
Right.
or 6-0, 6-1, and and no matter how big a tribe you have with you, if you are physically alone in that space, right, when that happens, um, everything goes to shit, and you're really, really in a funk.
Yeah.
So I mean, it comes back and it ties back to your first question: how do you have your true north, or what do you know your true north is when stuff gets really rough? Because no amount of tribe when you're on tour alone, or even when you're with tour, with someone or your coach with you on tour, it's gonna pull you out of that unless you know what the reasons of why you're doing what you're doing are in the first place. There's only so much rah-rah that people around you can give, but at the end of the day, it's just like an athlete with his or her training team. You can have your coach, your tennis coach, your strength coach, your physiotherapist, your osteopath, your team around you, your sports scientist. But if you ain't the driver that's driving that motor or wanting to do it, then everything else, no matter how they push you, is going to be not. Yes, there are times when your engine slows down, and that's where friends step in. And I've had friends, at points in my way earlier on in my journey, when I go like, it's so hard already, I just want to quit. And I remember this one friend, he leaned back in the seat and he folded his arms by the side of a sushi bar. We were in a sushi bar, and he was like, "Okay, law, you quit law." Okay, law. And it was just the way he put it, it was so bokangguan, for our international friends. That means he sounded so unappeased,
Yeah.
and I already felt so buisong listening to his voice. For international friends, buisong means like so
Angry. Pissed off.
yeah, angry, like screw you, like I'm not gonna give up.
Yeah.
Because you're just saying, okay, Lord, okay, fine, then you can give up. Like you don't go down without a fight, and it's just like yeah, there's still so much fight left. But
Yeah.
but coming back to it, like that's when friends like edge you on, like and yeah, now I'm very grateful for the people I have around me. It doesn't save you from feeling lonely many times. I mean, no one's gonna be there to hold your hand, but but there are people or friends and fans who have turned to family that I can always reach out and talk to,
Right.
and they love on me, and they are one of the reasons why I am still here.